Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another 20th Century Geek movie review. I've just watched Suspiria and just sort of do a quick video, look at more of a reaction video really than a review. I've only really come into Italian horror this year. Earlier in the year, I did a couple of films with my co-host Mike, and we did things like Blood and Black Lace, Black Sabbath, From the Beyond, or From Beyond, and the Beyond, the House Beyond the Graveyard, and Zombie Flesh Eaters. Okay, so we've done a couple, and Suspiria sort of sat above all that. Though it's a film I really wanted to see. Dario Argento. I know his films. I'm well aware of his films. I've seen Demons 2. I've seen some of those. But Suspiria is one of those ones I hadn't seen, and I'd heard so much about, and obviously the remake's coming later this year, that I thought it's time to sort of sit down and watch it. So I did, and it's all right. It's all right. It's a beautiful looking film. The camera work, the cinematography, the choice of color, the choice and use of color, the oversaturations of like reds, yellows at times, and a bit of the flashes of blue, and the coolness of that is fantastic. It looks amazing. The story is again okay. It's sort of you're taken into it for the most part. It sort of makes sense. It's I'm not gonna spoil it for those that haven't seen it, but it's obviously set in a dance school, and unusual things happen. The female protagonist throughout this is like, she's your point of view character. She's the one that's supposed to be taking you through these experiences and these unusual happenings and these strange events. The problem was they never felt unusual enough. Like they lead to a supernatural reveal, which is no real spoiler. It's part and parcel of this film, but it never seems to earn it. There are some great deaths. There's some really great gory deaths, but it never seems to sort of build to anything, or it's disjointed. Even it's just disjointed. I have this idea in my head of films, and I have this theory: perfect escalation. So you can start from any point, and you can track up to a climax, and it will zig up and down around that, right? But from wherever you start to wherever you end, there has to be perfect escalation, or at least as close as you can get. So this here and this here should make sense, right? That you've travelled that journey. This doesn't ever sort of feel that way. It's disjointed. Now that could be part of the acting. I actually think the female lead in this is terrible. The acting, or it could be the direction. She just very panto, very over the top. Incredibly, it's weird. She flies from being incredibly over the top to being incredibly wooden in like one scene. It's baffling. She's not very good at all. It feels Italian, which is I know what people love about some of these things. It feels like it's got that melodrama. People are chewing the scenery. I'm beginning to think it's not for me. I just find it a little. It affects my ability to suspend my disbelief. I'll go with a lot. I watch some utter crap. I watch some terrible films, but this sort of begins to affect my ability to suspend my disbelief. I can't believe in these characters. There are some shocking deaths in this. There's some, there's one guy that gets attacked by a dog. That's comes out of nowhere, but that feels earned. That makes you go, oh shit, that's a good moment. Other than that, though, they all seem a bit meh. Like, I don't feel that. Nothing feels earned. There are flashes of brilliance in this film, that are truly creepy. There's the use of the music is immense. Goblin soundtrack to this, to score, sorry, the Goblin score on this is incredible, and used almost to perfection. It introduces a sense of disquiet and almost paranoia. Like, it just gets under your skin. It's brilliant music, and aside from the film, it's worth checking out on its own. As a horror fan or a music fan, it's even a movie fan. It's worth checking out. It's a piece of movie history that I think doesn't get talked about enough. It's everyone talks about like Tubular Bells or the Psycho score and all those. This is there, I think, or even the John Carpenter stuff. This is at the top of that level of music that affects the way a film impacts you. If you took the score away, it would totally lessen this. It would be so much less. So, for more to say, yeah, watch it if you want to see it. It's an important film. I understand why it's important. Did I enjoy it? Yeah, I didn't get bored, but I was left questioning for the wrong reasons. I don't mind ambiguity. I don't mind, things where not everything is told to me. That's fine. This just felt disjointed rather than being taken on a ambiguous story of uncertainty and paranoia and that sort of thing. It didn't feel like that at all. Looks amazing. The 4K restoration of this is stunning, and I highly recommend you get the best quality version of this to see it, if you do. But I'd say borrow it and then give it back. For me, I'm going to give this a 6.5 out of 10. It's important. There are elements that are fantastic, but the overall package is, I would say, is lacking. Yeah. So anyway, that's just another video, just throwing this out there. Gonna start throwing these little nuggets out, just for my thoughts. 20th Century Geek Ramblings. There you go. But check out the podcast. 20th Century Geek is on iTunes and all other podcast catchers. That's 20th Century Geek. 20th Century Geek. Same spelling. I'm on Twitter at 20th Century Geek. On Facebook under 20th Century Geek. Tumblr, Instagram. Our Instagram feed's great. And yeah, check us out. Have a look. We're on Patreon as well. So if you really like the podcast or you really like what we're doing here, throw a couple of coppers our way. It's always welcome. Greatly appreciated. So thank you for listening, or watching in this case, and check out the other videos. Recently I've reviewed The Predator and The Nun, and I'm probably going to do a couple more even this evening. So thank you very much, and I'll catch you again soon.